fact, regardless of how spiritual, loving, or enlightened you are, you still need to have money to be able to survive and thrive in this world. However, there seems to be some really conflicting information about money, wealth, prosperity, abundance in spiritual circles. In fact, I found that money is a pretty taboo topic to talk about when it comes to different groups of spiritual people. Well, today I want to go ahead and dive into that taboo topic. But before I do, I'd like to take a moment to introduce myself. My name is Nicole Antoinette, and I am a psychic medium. My passion is teaching people how to accept, embrace, and enhance their spiritual and psychic abilities so that they can lead a whole and fulfilling life. As you know, there's more to living a whole and authentic and fulfilling lifestyle than just embracing your spiritual side. In order to have a full life, we need to have actually quite a few things. We need to have a good community, whether that is a group of friends or a family or coworkers. We need to have a sense of purpose. And of course, we need money to be able to pay our bills. We want to be able to have money in our savings account so that if there's some type of emergency, we know that we can pay for it. And of course, we want to know that as we grow older, we're going to be taken care of. And regardless of what may happen around us in the outer world, that we have the finances available to us so that we can continue to care for ourselves and for our family. There is absolutely nothing wrong with this desire. And while it may be taboo to talk about finances in spiritual circles, it's worth noting that the idea of wealth and prosperity and riches and currency are very present in many different spiritual and holy texts, such as the Bible, the Kabbalah, the Quran. And so we need to be able to open up our minds and realize that money is a necessity, just like air, just like food, just like water, because it is through money and the exchange of that currency that we're able to pay for those things. But perhaps you have a love-hate relationship with money. Perhaps you have some limiting beliefs. And I want you to know that that's okay. It's okay that you have these limiting beliefs, and also it's not your fault. However, it is your responsibility. So if you are noticing that you're having a hard time holding on to money, attracting money, managing money, know that it is very possible for you to be able to turn those beliefs around and turn those behaviors around so that you can, in fact, have a life and where wealth and prosperity are available to you and are consistent and there for you when you need. Now, before we talk about these limiting money beliefs and the different ways that you can turn those beliefs around, I'd like to give a shout out to today's sponsor. This video is being sponsored by Marissa Peer and her 21-day abundance challenge. Marissa Peer is an award-winning therapist from the UK. She's also the founder of Rapid Transformational Therapy, and her I Am Enough movement has helped millions of people, including celebrities and athletes from all over the world, to overcome failure, debilitating depression, weight gain, and a myriad of emotional, mental, and even physical health problems. And now she's offering a 21-day abundance challenge that will help you to heal your self-sabotaging thoughts about wealth, success, and prosperity. The challenge includes 21 days of video trainings from Marissa Peer, 4 meditation tracks, 2 root cause meditations, 3 hypnotic audios, and 4 pre-recorded Q&A calls with Marissa, along with a thriving community of people just like you who are ready and willing to change their lives and to help one another on this journey. Now, I also want to take a moment to share with you that I've been following Marissa Peer's work for a few years now, and although I haven't worked with her directly, The methods that I've learned from her have absolutely changed my life in profoundly positive ways. And so it's with so much confidence in her work that I am excited to share with you this 21-day abundance challenge that she's offering. And I would highly encourage you to check it out. In fact, as a bonus, she is giving you 25% off this abundance challenge if you use the link in the description area below and also use the coupon code Nicole to get 25% off your purchase. So yes, she's using my name as a coupon code. And when you go to the link and as you're checking out, make sure that you spell my name correctly. It's Nicole to receive 25% off this challenge, this program, as you are checking out and purchasing this 21-day abundance challenge. With that, let's go ahead and talk about where limiting money beliefs come from and how you can heal them. The place that most people pick up severely limiting beliefs about money is in their childhood. So when you were growing up, you were really taking note and watching the adults around you, because these adults who were around you most often are the ones who were really setting a blueprint for your life. And so you observed and absorbed how they dealt with difficult situations and even happy situations too. You watched and absorbed how they behaved and what their thoughts were about their weight, their health, their responsibilities as an adult, going to work, leisurely activities, planning vacations, how they responded to uncomfortable situations, what triggered their anger, what triggered their happiness, what triggered their sadness. And not only did you become attuned to these different areas of their life and how they responded to them, but you started to pick up your own beliefs on how you should behave and how you should respond to any given area and circumstance in your life. Now, there are some beliefs that you picked up from your caretakers, from the adults around you, that were really good and extremely helpful. But you also picked up some beliefs that were not very helpful at all. And most likely, some of these beliefs revolved around money. So if you grew up around adults who were constantly saying things like, money doesn't grow on trees, we can't afford that, why are we always broke, we're always poor, we never have enough of anything, then those are thought patterns you would have picked up. But there's also a caveat to this, and it may require a little more digging for you to find. Because if the adults in our life made us feel as if we were worthless, they may have had fantastic beliefs about money. They may have believed that there's always enough money. There's money available for me regardless of what I do. Every time I pay off my credit card, more money is available to me. All of my needs are taken care of all of the time. However, if the adults in your life were doing things or saying things that made you feel worthless, then because we assign a value to money, we may have started to mirror that value of money to ourselves, or really vice versa. We started to mirror our value of ourselves towards money. So if the adults in our lives said things to us like, you're stupid, you'll never go anywhere, if you don't get your grades up, you won't go to college, you won't find a good job, no one's going to pay you the amount that you want to do what it is that you want to do. Or if you grew up and if as you were growing up, you wanted to be an artist of some sort, whether that was you wanted to play the piano, you wanted to play guitar, you wanted to be in a band, you wanted to be an artist or a painter or an actress, or you wanted to do something very creative, and the adults in your life said, you'll never earn money doing that. You have to work hard for your money. You have to go to school for business. You have to be a doctor. Whatever it is, those beliefs took root in you, and you found yourself at a crossroads where you very much still wanted to do those things that called to your heart that made you feel alive, but you were told that you had to do something you didn't want to do in order to make money, right? And so those can be very damaging beliefs. The second place that we pick up limited money beliefs is through some type of traumatic event. This event could be that your car was repossessed. It could be that you were fired. It could be, like me, you had a foreclosure under your belt at a very young age. In my 20s, I owned a condo, and when a recession hit, it was foreclosed on me. And it really took a long time before I was able to really change the money beliefs that occurred after I went through that horrendous foreclosure. So there could be some type of big event that happened to you that really rattled your beliefs about money, that rattled your belief in yourself to take care of yourself and to manage money wisely. You might have picked up the belief that it doesn't matter how hard I work, it doesn't matter how much I save, something's going to come and take away the things that I value most. So why should I even work so hard for money? The third place is through repeated comments. And really I call these mind seeds, because this is something that someone is saying over and over again that takes root in your head, just like when you plant a seed. This is a seed that is planted in your mind. It starts to take root, and from there this new belief begins to grow like a weed, if it's a bad belief. When I was an adult and I was getting back on my feet, I ended up having a roommate who had pretty poor beliefs about money. And one of the things that she was always saying was money in, money out, meaning that whenever she got some type of financial bonus, whether that was an actual bonus from her job or she got money she didn't expect, there would be something that would happen as if by dark magic, in which she would have to spend that money and more to get something fixed. So for example, she ended up getting a bonus at her work, and then the plumbing in her house just went haywire. So she had to pay to get that fixed. She got a raise, and then the refrigerator stopped working, and it ended up costing more to get it replaced than it would have to just buy a new refrigerator. So her belief that money in, money out really was evident in her life because it was playing out consistently. I wouldn't have been surprised if at some point she became fearful of having more money come in, because it was very evident that more money than what she had received was going to go out. As an observer and as someone who was living with her, not only did I see this belief playing out for her, but she was saying over and over again, money in, money out, money in, money out. I heard it from her consistently. And whether I wanted that to be true for me or not didn't matter, because just being there to witness that and to hear it all the time, I started to notice the same thing happen in my life, and that was really frustrating for me. So I would have a month where I had really good sales, or maybe I put a product on sale so more money was coming in because I wanted to, purchase something for my studio or whatever it was, and then some type of bill would just come in from nowhere, and I was like, what the heck is this? So it started to play out in my own life. So those are the three different ways that most people pick up limiting beliefs. Now, of course, I'm sure there are other ways that I didn't mention in this video, but like I said, those are the three ways that seem to be the most common. So let's go ahead and talk about the different things that you can do to shift those beliefs. The very first thing that could be so helpful for you is to really think about what belief about money would be helpful to you. And for me, I believe that the belief money is helpful is enough to overwrite some of the negative beliefs that you may have about money, because you may have beliefs such as money is stupid. I hate money. Money is evil. Only wicked people have money. People who have a lot of money are selfish. People who have a lot of money are materialistic. You know, when you make those type of judgments about money, that is really devastating, because when you hate money or when you have beliefs like that, you're really pushing money away. Because think about it. If there is someone in your life who you don't like, who you hate, who you just hate, do you really ever want that person near you? Probably not. And if that person knows that you hate him or her, does that person want to be around you? Probably not. And so money is the same way. So we need to change that. We need to fix that mentality. So if you believe money is evil, money is stupid, money just causes a headache, here are some beliefs that might be more helpful. The first one would be, money is helpful. Money is helpful. Having money puts me at ease. So that would be, money puts me at ease. It's really easy to make money doing the things that I love. Having enough money to pay my bills, to care for my family, and to save for the future brings me joy, right? Those are all really positive beliefs, and they're probably true. So what I would recommend that you do is to get a sheet of paper and write down the different beliefs about money that would make you feel really good, that would make you feel very secure, and that would act as a welcome mat to money, as opposed to just this revolting scent that causes money to go away, right? We want to welcome money into our lives. We don't want to push it away. And so it starts with our attitude about it. So think about the different phrases and statements you can make about money that are true and that feel good. And I want you to get some index cards and write one statement on each index card. So if you have 5 different statements, you would have 5 different index cards with one statement on each card. Before you go about your day, just pull one of those cards, look at it, read it, really absorb the message, and take that card with you. And repeat that message to yourself as often as you can. I attract money easily doing the things that I love. Money is extremely helpful. It makes me feel so good to know that money shows up whenever I need it. Whatever that money belief is that would help you to attract money and manage it better is what you want to start putting into your mind, right? And remember, whatever we start to think about is what we create in our lives. And so the more we think positively about money, the more it's going to show up in positive ways for us. The second method that I have for you is actually a little bit of healing energy work. So if you are a Reiki practitioner or you've worked with any form of energy medicine, this is something that you're probably going to really like. What you're going to do is you're going to just imagine that in front of you is this bubble. And in that bubble is every negative belief that you have about money, every negative experience you've had with money. And this is just going to be your toxic money bubble, right? So we're just going to imagine that there is this ball in front of us, and every traumatic experience, every negative belief we have about money is all in this bubble. So now what you're going to do is we're going to pray over this bubble, and we're going to send healing energy to it. So if you're a Reiki practitioner, you may want to write some different symbols on this bubble. You may want to open up your hand chakras. You may want to write your symbols on your hand chakras. And then as you visualize this bubble, you're going to turn your Reiki centers on. Or if you're not a Reiki practitioner, what you're going to do is you're going to imagine that there is divine energy flowing down to you through your hand chakras. And all of this energy is being sent into this ball. And the intent here is to send loving, healing energy. So with all of that pain, with all of that trauma, with all of those money beliefs sitting in front of you, you're going to visualize that ball and you're going to send healing energy to it. And just imagine that you're sending waves of love, waves of hope, waves of joy to all of that negative money energy that is trapped in that ball. And what this is meant to do is it acts as a shock wave that sends healing energy all at once to all of those experiences, to all of those negative beliefs that you have. And when you spend a little bit of time doing this energy work, you're probably going to find that there is this sense of relief that you get when you're done. And you start to notice that you have this blank slate when it comes to money. And so as you're healing that money energy, just allow that energy of peace to flow over you. Allow your angels and your guides and your ancestors to all stand beside you and help you to clear the money blocks in your ancestral line, in your bloodline. And as you're doing this, you're really removing any negative energy that has been connected to you and even to your loved ones as you've been moving through this physical reality. So this is a way for us to bring spiritual healing energy into these negative money blocks, because even though we are spiritual beings having a physical experience, we want to use all of the resources available to us so that we can navigate through this life as best as we can. So my friends, I do hope that you found this helpful. And remember, check out Marissa Peer's 21-day abundance challenge, because what you learned here, those were just 3 different little tips. When you sign up for Marissa's challenge, not only are you going to get 25% off the price by using the discount code Nicole, but when you stick to the challenge, when you go through all 21 days, when you dive into the content that she's going to share with you, when you really put your all into the methods, the exercises, the techniques, and the tools that she is providing you with, you are going to see changes in how you think about money, how you attract money, and how you behave with money, how you manage it. And it is going to be so life-changing for you. You're going to wonder why you didn't do it sooner. So while the advice here is absolutely sound, why not learn more? Why not learn more? Having new techniques and having an abundance of tools available to you can only be good for you, right? Can only make the journey a little easier. So be sure that you check that out. Again, the link for the 21-day abundance challenge is in the description area down below. Use code Nicole, N-I-C-O-L-E, at checkout to get your 25% discount. And of course, if this is your first time watching one of my videos, I would like to welcome you to the Guiding Echoes community. I'd also like to invite you to subscribe to this channel. I release new videos every Monday at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Time, and I go live either by myself or with special guests on Thursdays at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. So, you know, it's always some kind of party happening here on the Guiding Echoes channel. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.